couple of years ago, you couldn't walk into a video game retailer without tripping over a stack of plastic instruments, and you couldn't go a week without seeing a music game being featured on the App Store. It seems like everyone's interest in rhythm action has waned though, and it's been left to the Bamani true believers to keep the spirit of rock and roll alive. To them I say, here, my brothers and sisters, here are the 6 greatest music games you can download for your iOS device so that you can keep the flame burning strong. And to everyone else I say, yeah, all these games are well worth a look. You're immediately drawn to Groove Coaster and its free-to-play cousin Groove Coaster Zero by the abstract and minimalist art style. Taking cues from a myriad of sources, everything from Rez to Space Invaders, it's a handsome beast in motion with a pulsing, throbbing, pixel-infused retro look. But keen visuals do not a good game make, and thankfully Groove Coaster's gameplay is fantastic. You can play the entire game with one finger, but do not be fooled. Groove Coaster is brutal. Your avatar on screen follows a single line, and initially all you need to do is keep tapping to the beat. But pretty soon it introduces tap and holds, tap and swipes, and repeated taps. If the complexity of commands don't catch you out, the rotating camera, optional beats, and icons adding to the line from all angles absolutely will. The tap-tap games are now classics of iOS gaming. It certainly feels like they've been around since the App Store launched anyway. They remain perennial favourites, and Tap Tap Revenge Tour is as good a place as any to get stuck in. 3 channels are before you, and beats fly towards the screen. All you need to do is tap, slide, and shake them at the right time to be victorious. The real appeal here, besides solid gameplay and social features, are the big-name acts that have contributed music to the title. will.i.am, Avicii, Bruno Mars, Franz Ferdinand, Vampire Weekend, and more. All have tracks in Tap Tap Revenge. If that all sounds too mainstream for you, and what you're after is some hardcore Japanese rhythm action with music from J-pop bands, then Groovecatch has you covered. See the girl at the bottom of the screen? You're guiding her so that the spinning blades on her head hit all of the strawberries and cakes as they fall down the screen. Simple and slightly bizarre stuff, but enjoyable nonetheless. All of the music is officially licensed, and according to the publisher, one of the big reasons the game was made was to highlight artists to a wider audience and support them via the game's in-app purchases. So, if you're a fan of this kind of music, it's well worth a look. I always think it's a good idea to know your roots, and if you're looking for a rhythm action series with history, it doesn't get much more rootsy than Dance Dance Revolution. DDR finally put music games, or the Bamani genre, firmly on the map here in the West, and though it wasn't until Guitar Hero before it became truly popular, the importance of the series shouldn't be underestimated. Dance Dance Revolution S is a really solid crack at transposing the toe-tapping action of the arcade-oriented series onto touchscreen devices, and it features a decent soundtrack to boot. It's easy to write off Rhythm Racer and its sequel as Audio Surf rip-offs, but hey, what's wrong with that? Audio Surf is great, and Rhythm Racer is a solid version of that style of play. Coursing along the track in your futuristic-looking space vehicle thing, it's up to you to collect the orbs that are scattered along the way. Each orb represents a beat, and should you miss one, the music will fade out until you're back in the groove and collecting those orbs again. Your craft can be a little twitchy, meaning that all that's needed to guide your craft to victory is a very light touch, and while that's not brilliant for your commute every day, it does make play a very precise and ultimately rewarding experience. Rhythmix is DJ Max Technica in all but name. If you can't quite tell what's going on here, the play area is essentially divided in 2, so that the timing bar almost has the appearance of running laps around your screen rather than moving in just the one direction, like in a Guitar Hero game. There are lots of different types of input too. Each beat may be a tap, or a tap and hold, or a tap, hold and follow, and so on. Things can get really confusing, but that's all part of the charm of Rhythmix, and once you understand the principles of play, you will be hooked. On a side note, the DJ Max game that is on the App Store looks a lot like a clone of Guitar Hero. It's funny how things work out, isn't it? That's your lot. Did we miss any out? Probably not. But if we did, chuck your suggestions in the comments section below. And hey, if you liked our list, make sure to give it a thumbs up, eh? This has been Peter with AppSpy.com. We review, you decide.